Hey guys, it's Alexandra from Buildable Brand, and we have another Squarespace tutorial for you. Today we're going to talk about accordion list elements on your Squarespace site. What are they? How to edit them? What you can do in terms of designs? My cat just jumped in the frame. We're going to talk about all the ways that you can customize this section to fit your needs and begin building your brand. Accordion blocks. Okay, so we're in our Squarespace site. We're going to click edit so we can start jumping into the back end of the page. And now we're going to talk about the section here. Now, first, let's just talk about what an accordion does. An accordion is a great way to show list of things that are condensed and in a drop-down menu. So for example, here, I can click and see different options. They're really good to use if you're trying to give details for something and you don't want a long, forever scrolling page, and you want to organize your content in a way that is very user-friendly. So to edit it, we click it, and it brings up, of course, now the accordion menu, where you can do the same things that you can do on most other elements, such as delete or make a copy, change your alignment, but we're going to focus on the edit. So the very first thing you're going to want to do is update it to your own text. That's very easy to do. We just click on, say, the first accordion item 1, and we change the title. So say I want to call this details. As I type, I see everything being updated as I go. And then now I can add my description. Now my description can be as long or as short as I need it to be. It's going to respond and to accommodate all the different levels of text. In this text window, I can do a few things. I can add a bulleted list. I can add a numbers list. I can bold things, italicize it, underline it, and I can even add external links. So I can add a link to another page on my site or even to an external link on another website. By default, the accordion menu has 3 different sections, which you can easily rearrange them by dragging and dropping, or deleting them by just clicking the delete. Now, if you want to add, you can add almost as many as you want by clicking add item. It just adds a new blank space where I can update my title and, of course, add my description. So the easiest thing to do is that. Now we've updated our copy, we're good to go. Now, say we want to start getting a little fancy and doing more customization in the design and different elements. First thing we're going to look at is the design tab. Now, like every other section on Squarespace, the fonts, the colors, all of that is going to be actually assigned by your site styles, but we can still change what it uses. So for example, our title and description, we can change whether it's using the heading or the paragraph style, and also which one we wanted to use. So for example, if I went to title, and right now it's using heading 4, which is the smallest of my heading size. If I wanted it to use something a bit larger, I can click heading 2. And now you see that it has changed that for each heading on my list. I can also change the orientation, whether I want it in the center or right aligned. And the same goes for my paragraph. I can change it to be a larger one from my paragraph style 1 or smaller with my paragraph style 3. And then I can do different things like change the width from each item, the padding, of course, the alignment, and where it aligns on the page. The same is with the actual description itself. I can change the style, whether I want paragraph style 1, which is larger, or 3, which is smaller. And then I can change some of the elements like the padding and the width, as well as the alignment of the text, such as if I wanted the text to be centered, and then the placement of the text in the box if I wanted the entire thing to be centered. Next, we can change some design elements. The main elements that you would most likely touch would be whether you want to expand the first item so the person doesn't have to click to see the drop down. You can turn that on and off. You can turn on a toggle that can allow multiple items to be opened at the same time. I personally stay away from that because that's a great way to have your page be extremely long, especially on mobile. So if I'm using an accordion list, it's because I want to maximize my spacing and my organization. But if this is what you want, you can turn it on. And then the other things you can do is edit the dividers, whether you want them on or whether you want to toggle and turn them off, how thick or thin they are, and even their opacity. Then you can make a few changes on the icon. That's this plus icon over here. You can change it from a plus or an arrow. And then you can change the size if you want it medium or large, the thickness, and even the placement. So right now it's placed to the right. I can move it to be placed on the left with the words, and then I can move the words to be placed somewhere else if I wanted to. And then down here, you get row padding, background, and a lot of other what I would call advanced settings. They should be pretty self-explanatory, but for the most part, I think you should kind of leave these alone if you're trying to get beginner level edits. The last thing I want to talk about is editing the size of your accordion box. So right now it's set pretty small, but if I wanted it to actually take up this entire space, for example, if I had a lot of copy in the drop down that I wanted you to read, it's just as simple as me clicking, opening up the bounding box, and dragging it to where I want it to go. If I wanted to have more than one and I had, say, 6 things I wanted to add, I can duplicate it, move it here, and now have 2 that are set in nice alignment, double click here and change the actual content. Moving down to mobile view. If I click mobile view, it'll show you what it looks like there. It's going to do a pretty good job with responding on its own and making it fit into the frame. But if I wanted to make small edits like how large it is even on mobile, I can do the same thing here. But keep in mind that any changes that you make outside of the spacing is going to be changed universal. So if I look here and I go, actually, I don't like how big or how small the text is, and I click in and change, say, the heading style to be smaller, when I go back to desktop, it's going to reflect those changes. And so anything within the edit bar is going to be universal for wherever that is on the page versus whether it's on mobile or desktop. The only things that are going to be mobile specific is if I change the actual width of the box. And that's how you edit your accordion blocks on Squarespace. If this was helpful, please give us a like. Subscribe if you want to always stay in the know with all of our tutorials. Leave me a comment if you have any questions. And of course, check out all the different tutorials and resources we have here and at buildablebrand.com. See you later. Say bye, Ty.